The Jamie Dyer Show.
Welcome to the podcast. What is your passion?
My passion has definitely got to be music, without a doubt. I've wanted to sing since I was 4 years old, always doing little Sunday shows for my family and charging 50 pence for the audience, mum and dad and grandma and granddad, you know, a businesswoman back then.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lovely start, isn't it? And you've definitely moved on from there, playing much bigger venues to more people.
Oh, yeah. But I definitely, every single gig I really enjoy, whether it's a really small one and there's just a few people in the crowd to like a few thousand people. Equally, I enjoy them both, really.
Something that you've not really been able to experience at the moment, I should think, because of the current coronavirus situation.
That's right. Yeah, it's I've been doing the odd outdoor gigs. When the pubs reopened, it was in August and September, so I managed to do a few then. And then obviously we went into different tiers. So then it was just restaurants, and they'd booked me, and just as it was coming up for the booking, we went into lockdown. So
It's been a very difficult time for everybody, and a time to learn new skills and new things. Have you been learning anything new musically?
No, I've wrote some new songs on the keyboard, so I was just dabbling really, and then I've come up with a few songs. So I've had 4 new releases through lockdown. One of them especially relating to the lockdown, which is called Love in Isolation. So that's all about that you can just see me virtually. But no, just mainly. But I have been learning how to edit on Final Cut Pro and things. So so that's been a new skill. It's took a long time to learn, but I'm getting there.
Your original music, certainly from the stuff I've heard, has got a very vintage feel to it, hasn't it?
It has, and even with the dance tracks that I'm dabbling with, I said to both producers that I was working with that you might hear a few bits of jazz notes there, because I like to bring all the jazz and the vintage into whatever I do. Really, I should have been born in the 50s.
I think there are a lot of singer-songwriters that say that because there's just something about that era of music. What do you think it is?
I just think that they don't seem to date. Like the 80s, you listen to the 80s, and I just think, God, it sounds old-fashioned. But yet I can play Rosemary Clooney, and she just sounds so such a classic and so stylish still. I can't really explain why. Even when I've been to a cafe in Manchester, it was like this vegan cafe, and there were 20-year-olds all sat around on their laptops having a working lunch, and they were all listening to 1950s albums. And I thought, and they loved it.
Yeah, there's something quite classy about it. And I think it's probably because there's no computers involved, there's no technology. It's simply just whatever was there at the time.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
But you mentioned that you're dabbling in dance music and sort of electronic music. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so it started off originally just by going on the tiny online radio shows. A guy who does drum and bass approached me. He said, I've been listening to your vintage tracks, your original stuff on the little radios. Can we do a collaboration? It'll be drum and bass, but with your jazz vocals in it. So I started off with him, and then this guy called Council House Label, he approached the guy I worked with before and said, do you know anyone? I want someone with jazz vocals with the dance. So that was Come With Me by Council House. And then I ended up connecting with a contact of yours, actually, called Al Franco. And he's a radio presenter as well. And I basically asked him if he would remix Sunkissed, which is one of my original songs. which I think he's done a lovely job. And it still sounds like me, which I'm glad of, because I feel like they can be so overproduced and they don't end up sounding like you. But you can definitely say that's Poppy with all 3 tracks that I've done.
I think it was clear from what he did and from what he was saying that his influences were slightly different, because he likened your vocals to Kate Bush.
I know. I wish I was. I wish I was good enough as Kate. but it's a lovely compliment, to be, with her name being bounced around. And a lot of people say Mashiba or Portishead as well. I don't know if you know who I mean when I say that.
Possibly.
You're a bit young. They're from the 90s, so you might have been a baby then.
Well, I mean, let's talk some more about Rosemary Clooney, shall we?
Oh, yeah.
There we are. I mean, obviously you have all those original songs.
Yes.
But do you do any covers as well when you perform live?
Yes. So I only, normally when I go out on the circuit, I only slip a couple of my own songs in the sets because people want to hear stuff they know. But now and again, I'll say, and this is one I've wrote. It's called Singing in the Bath, or, and then sometimes it does make people take you more seriously in the pubs or the bars. And people who've not listened to you all night will suddenly think, oh, she's a bit more than just a pub singer then. And they'll actually take note and watch and enjoy it. But yeah, it's mainly covers. I do a lot of 50s covers, the odd 40s one, a lot of 60s and jazz. And I'll even do Dance Monkey that's been in the charts recently by Tones and I. So if I do choose any chart music, it's something that's quite left field, quite quirky.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that comes to mind, actually, when I hear some of your stuff, is it does have that quirky edge to it.
Yeah. I don't know where it's come from. I think it's the tinny keyboard with its backbeats. It just makes you come up with some really quirky songs,
Well, yes, because the first time that I was aware of you was when you released Happy, which, by the way, I think is still bouncing around in the recesses of my brain somewhere.
Oh, brilliant.
Because it's just so catchy. Where did that come from?
That actually came from, I was in a club dancing and I was very, very drunk. And I was dancing like really crazy dancing going on, just really enjoying myself. And there was 2 guys really suited and booted up and they were crossing their arms and they just went, oh my God, like that at me. And it quite upset me really because I was really enjoying myself and they put a damper on it because I'm not dancing like everybody else. And so I went home and I thought, I'm going to write a song about that. So the lyrics are about the judgmental people laughing at me, but I'll say to myself, and the do-do-do's as if to say, I don't care what you think. I'm enjoying myself. Leave me be. So thanks to 2 judgmental boys on the dance floor, that's where that came from.
Well, I mean, these songs have to come from somewhere, don't they?
They do.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of artists, whenever they're performing, normally they'll go home and they'll listen to something completely different. Is that you?
I do tend to turn off songs that I've been singing all night, so I'll get a bit fed up of them. Christmas is spoilt when I do Christmas sets because when people are playing it, I think, God, I do this one and I know all the words. So sometimes I do want to listen to a nice chill out album, a bit of Nouvelle Vague. I don't know if you've heard of the French band. They do punk covers, but they make it Latino or they make it. You'll have to check them out. They're very good. So I'll listen to definitely things that I don't sing on the circuit.
Yeah, I think a lot of performers feel like that because, how many gigs before the lockdown? How many gigs were you doing, say, in a week?
Yeah, about 5 a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes I was just managing to mould it just how I wanted. So sometimes I'd be home for 10 o'clock from a restaurant, and it was great because I'm not really into staying up till 2 in the morning. I'm not really a night owl. I'll do it, but I'd rather have my evenings to myself, get the gig done, and just sit at home and think, oh, right, enjoyed that. and and then watch a bit of TV like everybody else.
The mystique of performing, you're just a person at the end of the day.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not one of these that'll say, oh, I was enjoying myself that much, I did an extra hour. And I just think, you'll wreck your voice. Because the voice can only take so much in one evening.
What is your care plan for your voice? What do you do?
Yeah, so I have to do a lot of steaming twice a week. So it's just an old-fashioned big hot bowl of water with a towel over my head. I have lots of honey in my tea. I do every morning. You'll hear me in the bath going. So you'll just do these really strange noises coming from the shower. So I do that to make sure my voice is all warmed up before. I do attend the ear clinic regular as well, because if you can't hear, you can't pitch. So I regular have them vacuumed out. I go for my vacuum. I go and have them vacuumed about twice a year.
It's all the things that performers don't always talk about, you see, but it is important in order to maintain your performing skills.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, listeners can hear that you have a northern accent. Do you sing with a northern accent?
No, everyone says, oh my God, Poppy, I did not expect that voice to come out of you. You're so broad. Your Lancashire accent's so broad. And I did at the beginning when I used to go out, so I used to try and speak really posh to the the audience, but I couldn't carry it on. I thought, you're just gonna have to speak how you speak. Be proud of your accent.
I suppose at the moment, we're currently in the midst of a second lockdown. What are you doing during this lockdown?
Well, I've been asked by a couple of nursing homes to do a few videos, and they're personalised ones. It's a Christmas one. So I've got my Christmas tree up at the moment, and I filmed myself doing all the Christmas songs for them yesterday. So I've got to, again, get back to the editing this week. So, and I'm actually being paid, which is lovely. So it's nice to be, because a lot of people, unfortunately, with the live streaming, they might put a little tip jar at the top saying, please tip me. But I've spoke to a few of my musician friends and they're not all really being tipped. But people are struggling for money, that's why.
Yeah, I think that is definitely the situation, especially as we come towards Christmas, where for a lot of people, Christmas is quite a boom time.
Yeah, that's right.
But how do you maintain that happiness performing, if you pardon the pun, at Christmas time, knowing that it's kind of, not quite as it normally is?
Yeah, I think I'm just very adjustable with any situation. I just try and count my blessings every day. Because all my work's dried up. As you know, I'm a full-time musician. So I just try and forget, really. And I am a bit like everyone else. I'll go through a roller coaster stage, and 1 minute I'm feeling a bit fed up and a bit like, oh, I'm so fed up of all this now. And then next minute I'm fine. And I've heard a lot of people are a bit up and down. 1 minute they're doing loads of workouts and they're eating really well, and then next they're eating lots of mince pies and chocolates and lots of red wine and watching binge box sets.
That's not you then?
No, no, but no, I'm up and down. But most of the time I've always tried to think, there's a lot worse. I mean, I used to volunteer for the Children's Society, and we were sat around a circle with loads of refugees, and I was just trying to get a job with them, really. But anyway, that ended up not working out with jobs and things. Anyway, so they said, right, let's go around the circle now and talk about our worries. So they started off with a lady next to me. She says, I worry that I'm going to get sent back and get grenades thrown at me, and my children might get hurt again with all the war and all the bombings and things. And then they went, Poppy, what are your worries? And I just went, I just can't seem to get a job at the minute since being made redundant. And I just felt right silly, because compared to the lady next to me, please don't send me back, I don't fancy having a grenade thrown at me and my children, to I'm struggling to get a job right now, I mean, equally everyone's worries are valuable, but that's how I try and look at it. I just think about that poor lady that just all she needs is refuge, and that's all she wants.
It is all about context, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So obviously, once this lockdown ends and hopefully we can kind of go back to the previous system, which wasn't foolproof, but it was better. You could perform outside, you could perform in better venues. Do you have any kind of ambitions for the future?
I'm already getting for 2021 a lot of restaurants, which is great, because even if we get put back where we just have to sit down and eat in order to go out, at least that will help me by doing that. I'm also just trying to come up with ideas for content so I can do things where it's COVID proof, just in case, like a backup plan, really.
Yeah.
Which I should have always done, really, because as a singer, I'm constantly worried of, even before COVID, of catching a cold or cough. If you've got a cold and a cough, you're not allowed to visit me because I'll say, no, I've got a really important gig, I can't risk catching it. If I can't sing, I don't get paid. And people think I'm really OTT, but that's the nature of it.
No, it's what you have to do to protect your living. I mean, you're extremely passionate about what you do. I can see that by talking to you, and you want to continue into the future. But have you ever thought, even before COVID, I don't need this, I could just go and do something else?
I really fancy going into presenting. So I have tried to apply for, I mean, people have, like yourself, years of experience of presenting, and I'm quite a newbie to presenting. So I'm, rather than trying to audition and get rejected because they want someone who's got more experience, I'm just going to try and get my own content out there with me being the presenter, and just start from the bottom and see what happens. Not radio, more in front of the screen, the TV. I don't think I could handle all them buttons that you have to deal with.
Well, I mean, I suppose we could be seeing in the future then Poppy Holiday YouTuber.
That's right. Yeah, because that is a way to make money, and there's all the adverts. So if the adverts go on, you get paid, and people pay their mortgage at the end of the day from YouTube.
Well, I mean, everything is a business now, and you do have to. It's not quite as easy as people say it is. I mean, even in the industry that you're in, it's not quite as easy as just getting up on stage and singing a few songs, is it? There's so much more involved in it.
Definitely. I mean, them little videos that I've done, it's took about 4 days. I've been rehearsing all the songs, because you forget the Christmas songs because you don't normally sing them all year round. So I had to learn a script because I had to do like a bit of presenting in the show. and relearn the songs, and then I had to change this whole room into a set. So it's all that's why it's all Christmassy looking, because because that was my little set.
Excellent. Well, I do wish you the best of luck with it. If people wanted to find out more about you or your music or what you've got coming up, where would they need to go?
Yeah, so if they type in Poppy Holiday Vocalist, that's my fan page. They will find any new things happening on there. They can always type me into YouTube. There's a lot of troll videos comes up, the Troll the movie. So they might have to maybe put Poppy Holiday Singer in the search button. They're all my music is on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, Deezer, TikTok. If anyone fancies doing a TikTok video, they just type in the search Poppy Holiday and then do a silly dance to Happy if they want. And the brand new one called Sunkissed the Remix is actually on Bandcamp only just for now. That's mainly due to the current financial situation. The artist gets a little bit more of a cut on Bandcamp right now. They're being very kind to their members. But iTunes, you're lucky to get a few pence per song. So that's why that's on there just for now.
I can definitely recommend it. Do go and check that out. It's fantastic, and I do wish you the very best of luck in your future endeavours. And I'd like to say, Poppy Holiday, thank you very much for appearing on the podcast today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
The Jamie Dyer Show.